Hello, my name is Vishwa. I am a consulting engineer at Cisco. I work in the CX organization in the Global Enterprise Solutions Architecture team. Welcome back to another video in the IMM Expert video series today. We're talking about server policies again, and specifically Syslog policies. So in relation to that, let's review a couple of slides and then look at a quick demo on how this can be configured and verified. Intersight Managed Mode gives us the ability to create and reuse multiple policies. There are 38 such policies, as shown on the screen here, that we can configure and use for various platform types. It can be for UCS server policies, UCS domain policies, cluster policies, and chassis policies. Of these 38 policies, the 9 highlighted policies not only apply for UCS managed systems, but also to standalone C-Series servers that can be claimed and or managed using Intersight Managed Mode. Today, we're going to be focusing on the Syslog policy, which is highlighted here in the red box. Since this video caters to server policies in Intersight Managed Mode, we're going to be using the UCS server platform type. Please refer to the other videos in this series to understand more about the configuration of other types of policies that are shown on the screen. So, what is Syslog policy? Syslog policy is a policy that is configured to let the system know that it can start logging certain types of informations or logs. Once configured, that is, if you specify a particular destination for the logs to go to, the mechanism starts collecting logs for subsequent viewing, maybe during a troubleshooting process. These logs are saved on a rotating buffer on the memory and can be viewed internally, or we can export them further to syslog collectors. We may choose to filter out certain types of logs by defining their characteristics, and also we can direct them towards multiple syslog servers as destinations. So, is the syslog policy required? Intersight Managed Mode allows us to create profiles without the default policy in it, which means even if you don't create a syslog policy, the process continues, and Intersight Managed Mode allows you to create an entire server profile or a domain profile. It's up to the user to create policies that give us the ability to use the functionality associated with it. The best practice recommendation is to use a syslog policy which is configured on the server profile so we can take advantage of the feature that it provides to us, log collection, etc. You can have multiple syslog policies created between multiple devices, and this will eventually help us with the troubleshooting process when we want to view the logs subsequently. So if we were to look at the map on how different policies attach themselves to profiles and templates, we will notice that in our case, the syslog policy that we're creating for the server profile would directly attach itself to the server profile template without any intermediate policies or connections in between. As far as the list goes, all these are direct attached policies, and we have individual videos created for individual policies. We cater to syslog, and the syslog policy is directly attached to the server profile template. Let's look at a quick demo on how to create the syslog policy for server profiles, deploy it, and then see if we can verify if it's the policy that's been created or not. So, for the demo, let's log into intersight.com like I have logged in here. And let's make sure that we have the infrastructure service dropdown selected here. This is very important because this is the part where we use to create policies and pools and templates and things like that. Since we're doing a demo about syslog policies here, let's get down to the policy set. Click on it, And let's wait for the Policies tab to open up. Once the Policies tab opens up, and once you're able to view this screen, you will notice all the policies that have been created prior. There's a history of policies here, but our interest is to create a new Syslog policy, so let's click the Create Policy button on the top right. Once we click the Create Policies button, you will see that there's different types of platform types available here. These cater to different types of profiles or cluster profiles or domain profiles with regards to how we're creating the policy. In this video, we're basically focusing on Syslog policies for server profiles. So let's click this UCS server profile button for the platform type, and then let's click the Syslog button. Let's click Start. Once the Start button is clicked and we have the General tab open up here, we have a choice to select the organization. Let's use the default organization. Let's give the policy a name. I'm going to call this policy Vishwa Syslog Test. You may choose to include description, which describes the Syslog policy is a local policy, something that is pointing toward destination, multiple destinations, so on and so forth. Let's click the Create or Next button here. Once we click the Next button and this particular window options, there's a couple of things that you may have to pay attention when creating this policy for our use case here. First things first, you will notice on the top right that it says there's different types of platform types. Again, there's the UCS server platform type, there's the UCS server FI attached platform type for the domains and all platforms. For our purposes, let's select the UCS server FI attached. Once you've selected that, then you will see multiple options here. One of the options is local logging. You may select the minimum severity for local logging. Here, I'm going to choose to leave this as a default as warning, but you can choose to have emergencies, alerts, criticals, errors, notice, informational debug, so on and so forth. We're basically choosing the minimum severity to report, so all the severities above the minimum that we're choosing will be reported. I want to leave this as default. You also have the option to enable remote logging, and not just for one server, but for multiple destination servers. Let's enable that, and let's see what that is all about. I'm going to select that Syslog Server 1. Here we have an option to include IP addresses for the destination, appropriate protocols, and port types. I'm going to create a dummy IP address here, and I'm going to leave the default ports and protocols here. We have an option to create multiple destination servers, so I'm going to include another Syslog server here. Again, I'm going to leave the default ports and protocols here. I'm still going to leave the minimum severity to report as warning, just like the local logging is, and then I'm going to go ahead and enable both the destination servers that I just configured, and then click Create. You will notice that on the top right, there's a green check mark that just pops up, which says successfully created a policy. This is our confirmation. And now we wait for the Policies tab to regenerate on the screen, which has all the policies that were created in the past and also including my policy that I just created for the purpose of the demo. So as the list of policies is opening up, you will notice that on the top I have my Vishwa Syslog test, which applies to both UCS servers and UCS domains because we've selected the UCS server type with FI attached. And this is a Syslog policy that we just created just a few seconds ago. We haven't assigned this policy to any server profile yet because this is a demo to show how the policy is created. That's the reason the usage says 0. If you were to assign this particular policy to any profile or any domain profile or cluster profile or server profile, you would have a number against it as you see in the following policies. So this is a simple demo on how to create a Syslog policy. and it's pretty straightforward. And in our case, we're basically doing this for UCS server profiles. So that was another video on how to create syslog policies for our video series about server profile policies. Please check out our other videos in the playlist in the video series for more information on other types of policies, and followed by demos in the same videos on how to create and use them. Thank you.